Hello again. So I have a map editor, but I spent just 2 days to move it up to all those functions we have. Let's make it quiet. To the stage we are currently here, so we can open map editor, space. Everything works by predefined keys, so we can switch here by keys on keyboard. And when the gizmo is on, we select with a right mouse button instead. So as in any reasonable CAD/CAM program. So in such a case we have, let's kill this overlay. So in such a case we have a gizmo. We can click on the gizmo to move something. So rotate, click, yeah. It works as it should be. So it detecting colors in the helper surface, and by the color it's executing the function. As we see, it works quite smoothly, and in editor we doesn't need anything faster. As we see the buttons near here, do we see them? Yeah. Control X, we can delete object. It is not keeping it alive anywhere. Control C, we can duplicate object. So as I did just now, it's copying the object, and we can of course select different build of the object. They are quite big, so let's put it up. By holding shift we keeping the last clicked function. So if I click this one, we click whatever and it goes for this. With control we use just part of this. Precise control is for precise movement, so it's divided by 10 and move by this. Value, we can change the scale at S, as we see here, gizmo scale. Of course camera is working on the same values, so we can have smaller gizmo, and that way we can build a full level like this one. So we have some chambers and corridors, and they look quite good. So I'm about to reload the level and see how it works. For playing, of course, I know it works. But for now it is better to save the level and start from the clear, because to turn off this editor function we need to change in the camera menu helpers, and then we need to turn off updating speed to some reasonable value, like oh, it's going only one way. 59 is good update value for static objects, and now we can use it for playing. But if I press space here, so we are accessing editor, and all those values are changed. I didn't made anything that overwrite it back, so I didn't think about it. But most of those functions work as I intended from keyboard, so I have a reasonable editor. Now about this button, I just push a wrong button. Add scale. So this gizmo can take a part of the picture. We can make it more transparent, or if we have some small gizmo, let's select something on some of our guys. Where we have a hero, here we have a hero. So yeah, it doesn't look reasonable, so it is why we can scale the gizmo to the smallest one. And now it is too transparent, so we can change this value. And of course it would be very useful to hide all those other helpers. But for now I don't edit characters this way, only levels, so I didn't. So I push the window button again. That's some problem because my recorder doesn't record everything I do, only in the given program. This is this game something bar for Windows. I didn't manage to fix something else. So the levels in general works this way, and I can edit, copy, and so on. By transition, I can change it to some more reasonable values. Let's hit the right button this time. So I can move it by some reasonable value by 40 or 80, because I choose such a scale to moving the stuff around. And same with rotation. It can be 0, so it does interfere during movement with some other arrows, 90 degrees, for obvious reasons. And some other fractions like 45, 30, and so on. Of course, we can choose some precise value like 90.5, or yeah, whatever, and then we can reset it. So editor works as mostly as it should. I didn't find any issue, just quality of life. So buttons work and everything as expected. We can add something. So for now it is position. If we right click somewhere, it's taking a position, and we can spawn a tree here. So we have a tree, and then we can edit the tree by changing the trunk and leaves. So we have a different, some kind of different tree, yeah, or something. What I did in 3D Max. By pressing a space, we not only changing to editor, but also we are going to mine part directly. Because when I'm moving the guys around, I'm not about to choose right path, and they have like 50 paths, including helpers to detect terrain around. So yeah, now I can move the guy as I like. So I can move him in whatever direction I like. And of course I'm holding buttons and I can rotate it. The only thing is to keep them straight up, because gravity and stuff. But I can spawn more of them and they be straight up. So what I'm about to do now, I'm about to add to all those objects connectors, like reasonable position to place anything else. Like corridors have an end, so if I spawn something, I need to choose connector here, and obviously it will be continuation of the previous corridor or previous chamber or something like that. And for case of chambers or floors like we have here, some offset for the center, because the mine object has a center somewhere in the center where we expect the floor level to be. So let us delete this one and delete this one and place a wall here. This is a good place to place a wall because I need a wall here against this tree, add this in open wall. So this wall is open, it exists with colliders from one side only. Here I can prefer to have a different type of wall, like this one. This has two sides, like we have in reality. This is not the best one, but the reality is as it is. And now we can go down. The biggest issue I had is because developers of the game maker have messed something with creating VAT files, VAD, to make it more accessible for other platforms, like not only Windows but others. And now if I add a sprite and make it separate texture page, all I see are just those arrows. I don't see objects, and I have textures that can be fit on 2038 pixels square. So it is for sure not the reason that I put too many textures. All of those objects you see here works on just two. One is the noise texture, and the second one is a color sampler, which is like 256 colors I have on the palette, less than that, 64 maybe, something like that, some small number. So I check it, investigate it, and try to make workarounds. And I found out that yeah, they're fixing something with every next runtime. So I was able to swap some others unused textures to those one, and whatever I click about assets, like I'm just expecting this thing to explode and I'm gonna see shit. Okay, let's try a gameplay on this. Save map. If I save map, it's gonna show up in a user app local storage game name, and then I need to copy it to operating directory, so mostly to game makers projects. But if I delete the map there, no, it will not load. If I delete the map there, so in the working directory, it's not gonna load. We're gonna see. So I just loaded the default map that is to start in case we have something wrong with the map we are loading. So this is the old one. It doesn't work with colliders as a whole map because all those parts have origin here in the center, and my recorder just stop if I go out from the focused window, so it's why the break. But if we click any of those load map, we go to the window browser and we can choose just another map which doesn't have extension. It is just a plain text file. So if it is wrong, it will just not load. There are some safety switches. Of course, we can cheat them, but in general, if it doesn't recognize keys for the map, it doesn't load. So we are able to save, and not just now because we have the old name, I don't know, in directory. So most of these things work as expected, so we can copy our new map from user to project folder, and it's gonna work. So let's see this. So we are in the create event of the only object in the game. Here we have path to the map. So default loading is minitest, as we see, and it try to open the map. Else, if there is no file, so if we add something that not exist and there is not such file, it's try to open it. If not, it's return wrong number, like -1, there is not such map. And we go to the hard-coded map, which is the another save file, but in this case this is completely hard-coded. I need this code to get reference what I'm doing. So we go in such a case to load predefined file. It's checking if it is loaded, it is parsed, and if it get correct structs, and if everything is good enough to be a map. It's killing our current map, cleansing all debuffs. Theoretically, it should work with restarting the project, but I tried and something goes wrong with memory. In graphic memory, so we see shit. But if I load my own levels, it works. I don't know why, but restarting the game by the event game restart, yep, by this, and cleansing the memory before doesn't work correctly. I don't know why. Okay, then it's creating the buffers, fixing all static and dynamic objects, grabbing collisions. In dynamic objects, what it does is fixing activators, so doors and such stuff. Have resetted last time activating, because I found that doors remember that they were activated later on, and time to next use is negative, so they would not open. Later I save, so they more wouldn't open. So I add this line to fix this issue, so when the map is loaded, they remember last time was 0. As we created object or anything like that, it is a correct value and everything works. So let's go to the gameplay and see how it works. So we have our hero. Let's try some gameplay on the map. We are just, this one is with this tree. So we are going to simple gameplay menu. We are turning off our camera. Let's make it keyboard. Oh, camera. Okay. We have our guy on our keyboard, so we can run. Doors open, because if we want to see, there is a collider here. If we pass by this yellow thing, it detects us and reacting to the doors, because this collider hold the hash value of the of the doors. And what we have here, there is some line crossing us, so I don't have a dashing for now, and because of that, if we cross such line, he's just detecting that he's climbing something. There is too low climbing, but reloading part of the map, colliders, so we have some delay. So it detects that there is some collision and he's changing state. As we see, we have some corridors, some ramp that looks like a broken stairs, but it only looks that way. Let us see the colliders. So we have colliders here. This is simply the ramp. So nothing special here. The situation we are sinking into the floor is because I have a value for running, which is responsible for jumping during the run, reloading part of the colliders, in fact rebuilding map, but it works. So this value for running, the speed, I am setting it to 0, and so he jumps 0 and he falls into the floor. So I have to change it that the minimum value is the one we start running. So the situation when we are walking, like now, and I press speeding up button, and first value he get is too low to jump, so he jumped through the floor, the negative value of jump. And let us see some other things. Yeah, like this tree. Does he have? It must have collider. It has collider, so we can climb the tree a bit. And so it works for now. So let's jump back. So it is just the base of the engine I'm about to utilize for turn-based 3D game. Like 3D in the, as you see, I have ability to select characters. So obviously it's gonna be like third-person view, kind of more time, I hope. Just I need to see things, and we're gonna go through the some labyrinths and kill some monsters and standard stuff. Yeah, dungeon crawler. Just I need to make it turn-based because I'm just too clumsy to play all those new games. They are fast, and I need some active input all the time, and yeah, it needs some reflex. My kid is kidding about this. Me. Like, if the game is not working by turns, it's complicated for me. Too fast. Like, mouse click per minute is something I doesn't manage well. Yeah, so if we operate from keyboard, we also can move mouse up, down, to the edge of the screen. Yeah, it doesn't work as FPS. I did in hijacked mouse, so we need to push to the edge of the screen, like slow paced game. And again, floor is sticky. I need to fix some more things, but for now I'll be working on editor. And now let us see what they messed up with the game maker itself. So go back to the code,